Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today I'm doing another VOD review. This is for Froggy. Froggy, obviously the Hangzhou Spark, enjoy. We absolutely love Froggy. Froggy's absolutely like the best. And we've actually managed to find a weapon shop actually for the skin. It's the cute little, what's it called, the Slime King one. Absolutely looks adorable. Honestly, I love it, Froggy. So yeah, so we're going to be looking at Froggy's VOD today. I'm just going to quickly read out basically what they've put. So it's a Plat 1 lobby. I'm finally climbing after a big win streak, which is huge, Froggy. Played against some pretty good Widow and Soldier, so I tried my best to play cover as much as I could. I do accidentally run Mercy into an unconventional comp, but my team just switch eventually. I did take your words in your last VODs. I feel as though it helped with my silly reses and decision making. Would like some advice on helping survive against restrictive hit scan players like this in a good match. Okay, so that's alright. Froggy will have a look at that, basically playing against some like really good hit scans and stuff like that, because obviously, especially on Havana being very kind of like, you know, limited cover and stuff like that, it's gonna be very, very hard to play against some hit scans and stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of like watch you through, kind of see like what you end up doing, because I know Froggy, we've done many Froggy VODs before. Froggy's absolutely like amazing. And by the way, as well, if you do want your own VOD reviews, for 5,000 channel points, I do them on my Twitch on Mondays, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays too. Also, I do usually kind of like rate the skins as well before we do it. But obviously, I love Hangzhou Spark and I love Froggy's. You know, I love how Froggy always uses this one. But anyways, so starting off, no, like this is already a bit unconventional. I love how you're positioned with it though. Normally what happens is your hit scans will just sit up on this high ground, and I call this the Havana special. There's like these little bins here, and I'm not even kidding you. I just stand up on these bins like this and just blue beam. Like, and I do not, unless if like someone needs like, you know, healing, in which case I'll like quickly whip around and like help and stuff like that. But for the majority of the time, I just sit on these bins and just do nothing. Like, it's so funny. Like, you know when you see all those like clips on Twitter of people being like, oh my gosh, peak Mercy gameplay, and it's just them, just what's it called, like out with like the blue beam stood doing nothing. That is me. But no, you do the absolute right thing here. Your wrist is being really pushed up here, so if she, like, you know, overextends, this is really your fault, as you tend to kind of, like, play around here and just hope your, like, hit scans do something on this part. But yeah, I expected to go up, but it worked out better when she wasn't. Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, it's nice, obviously, you know, you've worked out how she's being played. Okay, my only piece of advice, I do not like you standing in kind of awe of this, what's it called, this doorway. You either want to play this side of it, or play this side of it. You don't want to be like kind of floating in between. The reason is because you kind of being in between opens up this angle and also this flank angle for people to like quickly, you know, say for instance someone's coming like round this flank angle right now, pew pew, and you're dead. Okay, we need to try and adjust our like movement to play either a little bit further forward or a little bit further back. Where you kind of position really depends on like where your Ashe is going. Like for example, if your Ashe decides to kind of like play a little bit further over this way, then obviously, you know, you'll want to like play this kind of area. But then if she's playing more like hugging kind of this corner here, then obviously you want to like to be like kind of like over here and like using the car and stuff as well as like your cover, just so you can maintain that max beam range and also you're not kind of peeking out stuff. But as we'll keep on going. Can't do anything about that. Nice res, so obviously using your cover. Life Weaver dies, that's completely not your fault. That's how you do the little like bounce in to try and like help. Love how you don't go in to like to go and help even more. You just, you know, help back off and heal. Very nice. Can't do anything for that Ashe. She just gets headshot, which is really fortunate. At this point, I'm just looking to back out. At this point, you don't want to back out in front like you have done, if you get me. Because you back it out in front of these guys is basically putting you in that LOS of that Widow if the car wasn't here. So I don't mind you wanting to rotate, this completely fine. But you want to make this rotation a quick kind of like look down and kind of like J yourself like over to here. And then you can play like around here. It just makes sure instead of doing all of this out in the cover, you're actually doing this like little short distance instead. It's also a bit further away, so it makes it harder for her to hit. So you just want to try and like basically go from cover to cover on Havana. Bit boring of a map, will not lie, but yeah. Love the little crouch spamming while you're in like a pace of like little like, you know, you don't really know. You don't need to do a GA in there. You can literally just wait because you can see your wrist backing off. Try not to peek it once again because you're going to peek that Widow. Like literally just try. Basically, if people don't really come to you on Havana, then it's going to be like extremely hard for them, if you get me. And whenever you see someone like backing off like this and your wrist is quite healthy, it's okay. Just allow her to come to you and then you like heal. Like let's just say damage boosting her here. Nice. Nice res. Nice Jane out to the side. I feel as though we'd not realize we have a Widow now, okay? So, like, basically, let me quickly rewind it, because I've kind of, like, lost my train of thought with, like, the fluidity of this kind of team fight. I've been, like, very pernickety with you right now, Froggy, because I'm, what's it called? I know how well you play. So I literally, at this point, I would just stay on Orisa, because Orisa's going to be, like, your main blue beam at this point, up until whoever gets back is back. Nice res, as I said, this was really nice. Obviously, Life Weaver can pull back. So this is fine, obviously, like a movement. Where's your I think your Widow has grappled up here, okay? So as soon as you know this Widow has got the kill, you have to think to yourself, okay, where can a Widow position to be so that you can keep on trying to enable her, but also help if she gets stove by, for example, the D.Va here, right? So this is a fine rotation from you, but as soon as you know, because I've got Widow, try to look where she's going to be. Widow is either going to be up here, like taking this angle, or she's going to be like down in this kind of corridor here. She's going to be down over that side. She's going to be obviously up where she is. And it would have taken her a long time to get round here, but she can also peek from here. It's going to be like taking her a long time though, so obviously, you know, I think you would have probably realized at the time if she goes and rotates like around here basically. But as soon as you know you've got that Widow, just try to kind of like point out and like look for it. Because we do need to help Widow with being dove. And she ends up falling because we're not there to help and stuff like that. I was a little bit hesitant about flying up to the windows and sight lines, but I could have saved her. You know that you can pop up to come and help her here, because she's killed the enemy Widow, and it is completely fine for you just to quickly just like attach your beam on like a little fly up and then just like hug this wall like this, if you get me. Because like all they have now is this soldier, and this is like completely fine. Like, you know, soldier does like own little thing basically. And obviously, you know, the Widow has won the Widow duel and also killed the Mercy. So it means that Soldier also doesn't have that extra kind of like damage to be able to get you as a Mercy. So you are absolutely fine. Just quickly put your beam on and like help, like, you know, with the Widow. And then what's going to happen is obviously the Widow's not going to stay here and tank out the damage for the D.Va, because she will die. So she will back off like she ended up doing. But then you'd also be here, and then you can back off yourself like to around like here or something like that. So you just need to try and like peel for her a little bit more in that kind of team fight. I don't know if it would have like it probably would have like maybe survived her a little bit more, but anyways, keep on going. Obviously, nice peel for Life Weaver. Nice. At this point, I'd be damage boosting Torb. The reason is because let me just quickly pause it again, right? She was here, right, and the Torb is behind her, and obviously the Life Weaver's in front. Who's going to do more damage to this D.Va right now? The Torb. Because the Torb is behind her, which means he's not going to, not going to, you know, it's not going to be interfered with any DM. And also, he's just going to do more damage overall to this D.Va mech, because you want to try and get him out of mech as much as possible. So it's fine, obviously, you know, helping your Life Weaver, but as soon as you can, put your beam onto this Torb to work down this D.Va mech. Once this D.Va mech is now worked down, it's going to open up so many more possibilities to you, like, trying to, help, like, your Orisa, or, like, obviously, you know, kill the baby D.Va and stuff like that. We'll keep going. Nice how you just play passively there. However, we do end up, like, because, well, so I love how you register that, like, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is a bad sightline, and then you hide here. Perfectly fine. Now we have to think to ourselves, okay, how can we get out of the scenario? Because you just end up flying directly in front of a Widowmaker, okay? We can amend this scenario by literally, like, just kind of, like, getting your beam onto someone and doing, like a kind of, like, a wall bounce or something around, basically. Because, once again, you flying straight towards people like this is just going to, put you in sight lines like this. So I'll kind of like walk you through like what I would have done here. Where are you here? So talked about that. Nice, obviously damage boost onto whoever's doing. That's fine. Heal for Life Weaver. This is great. This is the point where you want to damage boost Torb instead of being with Life Weaver. Right, and then this is the part where you kind of like realize that, oh my goodness, like it's a bad spot, right? At this point, literally like get your beam, you can get your beam on like your Orisa and just like GA to the cart if you need to, like really quickly, or you can like literally just hang it out here, because right now your Orisa doesn't really need you too much because you have like this Life Weaver and stuff like that. You can wait for her to like really like, you know, like cover this like sight line and stuff like that properly, I guess, rather than just GAing straight forward like you do, because you can make it shorter by coming down here and like less risky, or you could just like literally stay where you are, or like try and get your beam onto someone and do like a little wall bounce away, just so you're not GAing like directly in front of the Widowmaker like you are doing. Obviously nice that you end up going. That's how you call out your ults. Can you damage boosting your Orisa here? Hot Valve now. Nice. Nice. I would literally stay where you are though. Like, is there any need for you to move from where you were? No, because you're not being pressured. You're now GAing out here, putting yourself at risk to this Widowmaker who has very, very nearly hit a headshot at you, right? Just for you to rotate around this area, right? You can literally just play here. If you want to back away though, you GA back and then you GA yourself back to like here. Because then it's going to keep you out of the LOS of the Widow and it's also going to keep you out of the LOS of the Soldier. But you just basically, you don't need to move from where you were. Like, you're not being pressured by anyone. You can literally just stand here and your Valk will help keep holding the space that your team wants to keep. It's not like you're like being dove upon or anything like that. You like can literally just hang about here just so you don't get hit off. Nice like quick flick away though, really, really great. Love how you're now obviously using this cover. Really nice. Res. Nice how you obviously flick it around. Really nice. Can't do anything for your Life Weaver. I like how you just stay here though. And yeah, it feels like you just end up dying now, which is fine because you just need to reset. Because unfortunately your Widow ends up dying again, then everyone dies to a Visor. So honestly, really like great so far, Froggy. We just need to kind of like be a little bit more, especially with Havana and it gets really good hit scans. We need to be really, really strict with where we peak and where we go. So with Life, we're just going to die again. That is completely fine. And now we just have to, what's it called? We just have to basically like help people back out, which is exactly what we're doing, which is really nice. Really nice. Love how you're helping people get out. Just obviously keep one eye on your Widow as well, because you are like solar healing right now. Nice. Sit in the Soldier, really, really great. Moved out of the way, awesome. Can't do anything there because you're helping your, what's it called? You're helping your Orisa right now, which is completely fine if you let this Widow die. This is purely because your Life Weaver's literally only just got back. So this is kind of like on your Life Weaver for dying because he tried to contest but he doesn't need to, but yeah. I definitely feel like my improvement in my gameplay recently from your tips. No, exactly. Like, already, Froggy, it's like, it's a lot, like, better. Like, I was already saying, like, how strong you were, like, from the previous VODs and stuff like that. But this is, like, another step up. It's really, really great. Oh, do we end up... Yeah, we end up doing it a slight... We need this to flick up a tiny bit more. I love kind of, like, the... What's it called? I love what you wanted to do. This is absolutely correct of you, like, wanting to do this res. Really, really nice. We just need to get up there a tad little bit more so we don't get out that distance. But I respect the decision making. Just, unfortunately, didn't get up high enough. But we won't dread on it too much because I understand what you wanted to do. Don't go after the Widow yourself here because you're not going to what's called. Especially if you're playing against good hit scans, that Widow's just going to turn around the corner and just shoot your head off like instantly, right? The other times you really want to fight a Widow is either if you're like directly really close to her and like making your movement like really erratic so she can't hit you, or you're in your Valk and you're just like, hey, like getting your Glock out and stuff like that, right? So at this moment in time, I would actually just be kind of like sat mainish here, probably like playing around this kind of drum here because of the Diva Bomb and stuff like that. You can literally just sit main and just damage with your Torb, try and get some damage in like here. Okay, because you trying to challenge this Widow is not going to really do anything right now, basically. See, nice cover. 2 people die. This is once again kind of just like a back off. I don't think you get your Orisa out, but it's nice how you just back off to your Widow. Oh yeah, Orisa's like way in there. You can maybe try, but obviously, you know, it's being like zoned off by the Widow and the Soldier. This is unfortunately just one of the scenarios where you've done the exact right thing here. Do I actually call the Widow later? I cannot wait to see it then, Froggy. But just about to say, right, I'm just going to explain this by the way if people don't really understand what's happened here. We cannot, even though the Orisa needs help, of course, we cannot go in and help, which is exactly what Froggy's done. We've waited for the Orisa to back up as much as we can. Why can't we go in? Because you've got a Widow that's completely, like, covering all of these sight lines like this, like you cannot peek, and there was also the Soldier that was around here earlier. So essentially we're very much stuck in this room, and all we can do at this very moment of time is what I like to call hope and pray, which is where you put your blue beam on your Widowmaker or like your hit scan, whoever's like playing here, and you hope and pray they get some picks so you're able to get your tank back. But you've done the absolutely correct thing here, waiting for her to come back, like, because obviously you cannot peek. So really, really, really great. I was helping her out. Obviously, you know the Widow's like there and everything. You're just doing honestly the best that you can right now. Really, really nice. Okay, at this point though, we do not need to kind of go in like this basically, because we know where our honor is peeking from. Our honor is peeking like here, or we'll rotate round and peek here. Because we now have this honor can now heal the Orisa right now. We should basically just kind of like stay up here and try and help like other people, like help our Widow, help our Torb, right? Let's quickly rewind it back because I know your Torb are getting picked off, but I want to see how weak he was. Nice pings, by the way, as well, like let people know like where people are. Obviously, I talked about this, absolutely amazing. So it's completely fine you trying to do this. You have to take this risk now, which is great that you're using your crouch spamming as well to try and like, you know, make yourself a little bit out, not seen. Okay, we don't heal Torb here. When we're here, we need to try and obviously heal Widow and heal Torb because we know our honor is here to heal the Orisa, and the Orisa is above half HP now. Now, Orisa being half HP is about 200 HP. Obviously, like, she's just basically started to get her armor back, right? So she's at, like, 200 HP. This is compared, like, to your Torb or, like, your Widow, who are a lot more needing, like, of this, basically. So as you see this, like, Widow and Torb come past, you need to, like, put your beam on them a little bit. Little gremlin walked away. I mean, to be fair, he did. He very much just, like, walked in. It's like, I'm going to get these guys kind of thing. But yeah, anyways, we do end up kind of rotating down. Move out. Damage boost. Nice. I'd be going for the Widow now. Go for the Widow. Go for the Widow. Go for the Widow. Go on. You got it. Go on. We need to work on the aim a little bit, Froggy, but apart from that, really great. I would have literally, I'm not even kidding, do a little, like, of a surprise attack up here, right? Because I love your Valk, like, obviously, you know, to help all these guys, and you damage boost the ult. As soon as that ultimate has, like, you know, gone down and stuff like that, you go in with your Glock and you try and go get that Widow. It's good enough. I mean, to be fair, you did get her though, so it's alright. Cannot complain. But I would have like surprised her up and like gone up to the barrels to meet her there. Love how you're going up to go and damage boost your Orisa to try and like, you know, get in that damage. Nice to use this high ground. Nice. We do need to back off now though. Nice to use your Widow to get up there. Really nice. Okay, we don't want to rotate like how we just did though, because once again, you rotating like this is putting yourself at risk to the hit scans and stuff like that. You literally, so you see your Widow kind of grapple up, back around here, and then GA this way. And while you, like, GA to your Widow, flick yourself away like this, and GA up here. Because you, like, obviously, you know, this way we already talked about way too, like, risky in front of everyone else. You can leave your Widow for a second, especially because that Widow has the one shot and she's going to be pretty much fine for like a second while you just rotate. Everyone else as well is fine, so you literally can just rotate like this, flick away, bam, you're to her, get your beam on, and you can just like dangle behind these drums basically. But as we keep on going, nice Widow against the other Widow. Really, really nice. Nice crouching behind the payload. Did the absolute right thing though. Really nice use of cover. I think at this point you're trying to... Oh, okay. We're looking for our Widow. We could have res though, definitely though. Like, I know obviously you do fail the first time and stuff like that, but that second time we could have definitely quickly got it and then like res just really, really quickly. Because it will also, especially if you do it under this cover and you don't do any like kind of like slingshots and stuff like that, it can really easily base out the D.Va. Like really like hold on, let me rewind it and I'll explain, right? How we could like really like well bait out the D.Va, right? So this is completely fine. Love how you end up crouching, obviously to be behind the visor because you obviously hear him and everything. It's fine to let your Widow die because obviously, you know, Widow's like gonna not really do anything there. So it's this GA we mess up, which is completely fine. As soon as you can, I would basically look, because at this moment you do have LOS, like, because you're like here, you do have LOS of this orb. I would literally go up and go for this res behind the drum. What will happen is your the D.Va will basically like, oh my gosh, I'm the resin, and then like try and like basically dive it. But then because you are behind and also D.Va, sorry, that Widow has the immortality, just keep your heal beam on it and just kind of like drop away. Hopefully what should happen is your team will realize that, oh my gosh, the D.Va's like inting in kind of thing. Then that's when you focus down the D.Va mech, and you can also focus down these supports that are still remaining, and then it is very much like a full-on wrap for their team fight. But we keep on going. Obviously realize where they are, so we play down. That's how you're juggling your beam. I would damage just a lot more here though than what you're doing. Just once again, because you can allow your allow your honor to heal up a lot more than what you're doing. That's obviously, you know, you're playing in your cover and again as well. Ooh. I don't like this rotation though. I don't like this rotation. And I feel as though it kind of comes to you like coming down to this cover. Like I'm gonna be honest, I very much do not like using this room to use as cover. Because the only way you can escape is to go forward, because otherwise you have to take this like full like long route to go like around around this way basically. So it's actually better if you literally just stay where you are around this cover as you are. So let me just kind of like elaborate. So see, we back away from Diva Bomb. It's completely fine. It's this, right? You can literally, once again, you can just stay here. And you can just stay kind of like crouched behind these guys and stuff like that. I died here because I feel as though I could have flown up to the room instead if I really needed to. Oh, okay, I got you. But to be honest, like Froggy, you could just play around here still, because once again, you're not being pressured out. Save that G for when you're being pressured out, right? If you get pressured out by the soldier, then yes, go into that room. If you get pressured out by the diva that's diving you, though, you know you have this widow here. GA back to the widow, and then just like kind of like peel yourself off to here, so you can obviously, you know, you can still keep with the team and stuff like that. But right now, because you are safe and you're completely fine where you are, you do not need to move here. You can literally just stay. Okay? So don't try not to. I feel as though it's been a few times now where we are moving just for moving's sake. Like, if we are not taking damage, we should, like, what's it called? We should just not move. Oh, we end up getting taken out by the soldier. Alright, that's alright. Don't worry. We talked about that, so it's all good. But yeah, Froggy, right. If we are safe and we know that we're not being dove and our team is completely fine where they are as well, stay where you are. Like, you don't need to make unnecessary rotations, okay? But we keep going. Obviously telling Widow to get back, which is very, very nice. You know, telling her that we don't have anyone, which is completely fine. Love how you're using these roofs. I'd push forward a little bit with your Torb here, though. Just like, you just try and help him out a little bit more. Nice peel. Nice Abby damage boost in Torb here, though, to like try and help get people in a little bit quicker. You essentially, whenever you're trying to push a chokehold like this, you want to damage boost whoever's going to do the most damage. And at this very moment in time, it's going to be your Torb, who's going to be in his overclock, like trying to basically create as much like space and damage as he can to push forward for this point, okay? So try just to put your beam onto him or like the Orisa while you're trying to get him. So it's nice helping your Widow right now. Widow ends up falling because she makes a weird rotation, which is completely fine. Yeah, everyone kind of drops. It's really annoying. I see a lot when when I watch like lower ranked games where everyone just jumps onto the point. When in reality, not everyone has to be on the point. Like in that example there, Widow can stay up on the high grounds and just kind of rain down. Torb can probably touch on, it could just stay up on the high grounds, and Orisa will obviously have to touch and stuff like that. It's just one of them like kind of things about lower ranks, sadly, that people don't really understand, that not everyone has to be on the payload at all times kind of thing, or like not like to contest, we just need to like take turns and stuff like that. At this point so much we could have let them have it. Like, it's good to contest it, do not get me wrong, especially because you have that Orisa roll with you and stuff like that. It would have been good if, like, it would have been contestable and good if everyone apart from your Torb and your Orisa stayed up on high grounds. But for some random reason, your Widow decided to, like, grapple down for whatever reason, and your Honor also jumped down for some reason, when in reality it's so much more safer for them to stay up on high grounds. But you've done the absolute right thing, obviously staying up on the high grounds and stuff like that, like wanting to and everything, and then only dropping when everyone like else dies and stuff like that. But yeah. Orisa solo was on point cries. And it's just the unfortunate. So I'm gonna give you a little secret right now. Froggy, I played a game with Zeldris today, and he 1v5. So he was 1v5, and he decided to Alarial. And I just got back from like respawning, or I must have like backed off or something like that. And there's just a clip of like, it's just me just looking at him, just using this ultimate 1v5 on like New Queen Street, completely other end of the map. And I've just stood there looking at like, you know, you can see like people's like bodies and stuff like through the map. And I sat there looking at it like, what are you doing? Like you are so L'Oreal, what makes you feel invincible. I've had that several times with soldiers where he'll like fly up into the air and he'll be like using his ult, and he's like, how did I die? And I'm like, Bestie, you flew up into the sky and you're like a gigantic sunshine. Like, of course everyone's gonna focus you. But relating this back to Mercy, exact same thing with Valk. A lot of people realize, oh, because how did I die kind of thing in Valk. I didn't realize like they're completely up in the sky, like kind of thing. But anyways, enough of my little story time. Okay. Another little thing, don't walk across here, because obviously, you know, you walking across here is very slow and also a very dangerous sight line. if you can, try and do like a backwards GA or like a directional one, just so you're making that rotation a little bit quicker. Because although it wouldn't matter too much if you were playing a map, say like a map with like a lot of cover, like a Dorado, like not Dorado. I know, just like any map that has a lot more cover, basically, it wouldn't really matter. Because it's Havana, and Havana is probably one of the worst maps in the game, you have to, what's it called? You have to really be careful. I realized I was all crossing and cringed. I would do the exact same. That'd be something like on my what's it called? On my thing, I'd be like, oh my goodness. I love that. That is great though. That is an amazing rotation though, Froggy. In case people haven't caught what Froggy's just done, I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna show you guys, right? Because this is really, really great, okay? So, as we know, the enemy team has a D.Va, and this D.Va can obviously like go in and dive and do anything, right? So, obviously, we talked about this, right? Ana dies. Now, we don't want to make a slingshot or like anything here to like, especially because there's quite a few people around and stuff like that. We can very easily like mess up our our GAs, right? So we essentially want to make this GA quickly, but also to save our GA cooldown. Now, saving your GA cooldown can either be done by cancelling your GA or obviously letting the GA fully go out, basically. So you don't want to do a slingshot. By doing a GA and then a bunny hop, which you could do by simply cancelling your GA just as you get to your target and then bunny hopping, gives you a little bit of a weird movement with like the jump, also gives that extra distance, allows you to res Ana, and then if this D.Va then, obviously she's a bit far away, but let's say the D.Va was like a little bit closer and stuff like that, if she then comes in and dives, you are already ready with your GA cooldown ready and a way to kind of like GA to Bastion or something like that to get away, and then obviously putting your healing beam on your Ana to try and help her out. Leather from Mercy Parkour, and I loved using them. They are, especially because they were a big thing in Overwatch 1, because you were able to, obviously in Overwatch 1 as well, and it was the best way to get quick and easy movement when like short distances, and to get around like little pieces of cover and stuff like that, because you can like directionalize them as well. You kind of like cancel the GA and then bunny hop like to the side and stuff like that, and you kind of like arc them. It's honestly, it's so fun, man. It was like one of the best parts of like Overwatch 1 Mercy kit and stuff like that. And honestly, it makes me want like miss the Overwatch 1 movement. But anyways, bunny up again, absolutely beautiful. GA's back. Just while you're GAing back, instead of flicking yourself forward, flick yourself backwards. Once again, just protects head hitbox. To helping Ana out, which is completely fine. Nice. Helping Soldier, which is fine. Nice. Really, really nice there. Obviously, like, that's your only option right there, is literally just to kind of like play it as safe as you can up until you know that bomb's gonna hit, and then rotation. Really, really nice move from you there. I like that. Obviously, you don't have res. Ooh. I don't like the Valk here though. I'm gonna be honest, okay? Because we don't have teammates right now because we've just lost 2. Okay, let me quickly rewind. Okay, so this is all like completely fine. I didn't see any kind of like bad things here. Just obviously, push that damage just a little bit more. I love this. Obviously, this rotation, this was really, really great. Okay, right. We are now 3v5. Okay, we now have to think to yourself, what can we do? So, we can essentially, at this point, push up. And then we Valk, and also put ourselves at risk once again to the Widow and stuff like that, right? At this point in time, we just have to like you did on second point, let your Orisa back up as much as you can, and then just, if you can, try and do a little backwards GA, like in and out, just try and get your beam on them. Basically, at this point, you want to be trying to get people out, or for you to get out yourself. This is absolutely an unwinnable, fight for you guys, basically. Which is unfortunate, but you can't really do anything when obviously your Ana dies to the Soldier trying to avoid bomb, and then your Bastion dies to the bomb. There's nothing really you can do here, especially because you've just already used your res and stuff like that. So at this point, I would literally just kind of hang it about with your Soldier, wait for your Orisa to come back. Obviously, if Orisa can't get back, then you just let her die and just do a quick reset, because, you guys want to kind of like reset and get yourselves ready for the next team fight. Because as well, kind of fighting, especially like holding here, you can't really hold like this area as such on Havana, because because it's so open. Essentially on Havana, you have to hold up here. So even if like you let your Orisa die and stuff like that, what's gonna happen is payload's gonna push up, and it's only gonna push up to probably about here, which is the perfect kind of spot for you guys to hold that next kind of choke and stuff like that. Now obviously you can hold like further up and stuff like that, like like for example, say you had your Bastion and your Honor up now and they were pushing up, you could definitely, you know, push up here and stuff like that. But right now your team is going to have to retreat, and I feel as though we've used this Valk at the wrong time. Because Air Soldier obviously ends up dying and stuff. Orissa's just doing her thing. Nice, obviously going to the health pack and stuff like that. I love how you know that you can use the little windows and stuff like that to help. Oh, we got stuck on the wall. But you see how I mean now, where like, even though yes, you've kept up your Orisa and stuff like that, you have now left your team. Once again, it is still a 3v5 here. Like, it has not improved nor worsened the scenario with your Valk. Like, I feel like at this point, it's very much that your Valk has had no impact whatsoever at this point, because you're still leaving your team at a 3v5. So I think definitely we should have just saved the Valk there, tried to get the Orisa out, and then played up here. Because also, you going in with your Valk here to try and help this Orisa, this is giving your Orisa confidence. Like, a lot of tanks, when they're like a good HP and they're getting healed, they walk forward and they do not care. They will just walk forward. It happens a lot with Ryan players. As soon as Ryans are above like that kind of like 350 HP, they walk forward and they're like, I'm going in and stuff like that. But obviously if they're like losing HP, they'll have to think, oh gosh, it looks like I'll probably have to back off and stuff like that. So obviously you'll have to, what's called, they will back off. At the moment you've given that Orisa that confidence of like, I'm going in kind of thing, which is kind of like what we didn't really want to do right now. Bash ends up dying again. Alora gets a pick, which is alright, but I feel as though Alora's getting picked off by the soldier in a sec. Orisa is somehow still surviving, which honestly I think shows off like how, not how broken Orisa is, but Orisa has a lot of survivability right now. But anyways, love the cancel GA around the, obviously, you know, cover and stuff like that. I love how you're crouched here as well, because it blocks out, in case people don't know, if you crouch here, it would have been better if you kind of like crouched here, by the way, just as a quick FYI. Because you want to try and also block out this sideline here, this like opening, like, excuse me, like this little castle thing, because the Widow can grapple up into here and then just obviously, you know, start shooting down people and stuff like that. So you also want to, what's it called, play back, you want to like kind of like play back here instead, or like play here, just so you're not like opening up that gigantic window, you're just kind of like here-ish. And also if you play kind of like here-ish, you can also still reach your team a little bit as well. But as we keep on going, Widow gets headshot, you literally cannot do anything about that. Laurie gets shot, can't really do anything about that. Nice how you rotate up, lovely res. Just once again, you're healing a lot of people when they're like 250. Push that damage boost a little bit more. Can't do anything. Just got diffed. Nice damage boost obviously onto the damage with Bastion. It's alright if you don't damage boost that, I would literally just stay back here. So you go to go help it, which is completely fine. Same thing with rotations, try just to look away while you do them. But like how you did do a slingshot there, just in case. Got help Alari there. Lovely focusing on that Bastion though. Nice ping on the res, let obviously your Orisa know that you're resin. Okay, my only thing is I wouldn't, sorry, this is being really picky at the end of this team fight. At the end of this team fight, you want to be pushing forward, trying to get people that obviously wanted to try and touch, or like, you want a lot of damage. So don't try to kind of like come, like default back to your Widow here, go forward and like help your Orisa or like your Bastion or something here. But honestly, apart from that, Froggy really, really great so far. So I think apart from obviously that one really failed res, really good reses, Valks, your first Valk was good on like the first point. I can't remember if you had one a second, I'm going to be honest. But the third point one I did not like. Okay, we want to try and save that one for the next kind of team fight, stuff like that. Healing damage boost is good. I want you to kind of push that damage boost a little bit more though. Because I feel as though you're kind of like defaulting to the healing beam quite a bit and healing up quite a few people. When in reality, you can very much, what's it called, you can just like kind of like damage boost people a lot more and wait for them to kind of like reload or come into cover to try and heal them up a little bit more. But on that, Froggy, I think like your positioning at the majority of the time right now is really, really great. We can improve it slightly a little bit, but I want you to remember that if you are safe and you can still help your team with where you are safe, you stay where you are. And that's one of the biggest things I'm going to get to right now, right? If you are safe and you know you're not going to get dove, or like you have your escape routes if you get dove, then that is perfectly fine. As Mercy, you should try to have your next movement down in your head if you can. So if you are safe, just stay. Don't be like going out and like trying to like GA to someone else where you don't need to. If you are safe, stay. I like as well how you obviously try to check out if they've got a Widow again. I like how you can see out that top window. It used to be that it was boarded up, so you actually couldn't like see like properly through it at one point, which is quite interesting. But anyways, so obviously, you know, helping Cass. Nice heals on him. Obviously, we have we have Sombra, so don't really have to heal them. And they've also got the Sombra. Really nice peel. That's obviously helping your wrist as soon as she's got that 4 seconds. Just try to, try to count in your head when that 4 seconds is. And when it gets to about 3.5, especially people like really, really critical, wait for it to go like to 3.5 before you go to heal them. If like they're like 250 HP and they got anti, wait that for the 4. But if it's like they're really, really critical, wait for that 3.5 because as soon as that's up, then they can start healing. I played Midtown recently and I held the stairs by the train like you said. Yes, Froggy. Dude, I love them stairs. In case people are unaware, by the way, what stairs I'm talking about. Basically, a lot of the time, people on Midtown, sorry, this is a completely different map. They will push under the car or they will push up top, right? If they push under, as long as they don't have anyone that's going to attack them, like on the high ground, stuff like that, like a hit scan and stuff like that, you can literally just sit on them stairs while your team is just like attacking the people, like they're attacking from underneath the train and stuff like that. Honestly, it's so handy, but it's once again, it's knowing kind of like where your safety is during a certain team fight and stuff like that. Because obviously there will be ones where that place isn't safe and stuff like that. But yeah, help me live out the team fight. Yes, as it should. Dude, I love like finding little places like that. Obviously, nice rotation down below. What I found with AlphaAli, by the way, playing, because I played a lot more AlphaAli Mercy today, because I was like practicing it with Zeldris, because I said to him, I'm really struggling with like playing AlphaAli Mercy right now, and he was like, yeah, I'll play some AlphaAli with you. So obviously he was like playing AlphaAli while I was playing Mercy. I found a lot of the time, if her healing beacon is up, then and like AlphaAli is healing the tank, you do not need to touch them because that's enough healing. Now if AlphaAli isn't healing them, but the turret is up, then obviously, you know, like you can hop in here and there and stuff like that, but normally it is a lot of healing as long as like you don't have a dive tank that's like gonna go in and int and stuff like that. So in which case you can still focus on the damage boost and stuff like that. Now, if healing beacon is down and AlphaAli is healing, I think you should try and hop in a little bit more if you can, especially if it's like someone that's really being focused, because I feel as though AlphaAli doesn't do enough healing, kind of like, you know, she doesn't do enough healing to kind of like heal someone up like to full, and then obviously she has to wait for the recharge as well on her healing and stuff like that. So I think a thing that you have to really look out for when you're playing this Mercy AlphaAli is knowing the uptime and the positioning of your AlphaAli turret as well. So in this kind of scenario, you do not need to touch your Orisa, because the healing beacon, up until obviously it literally just got destroyed, but like it was up and your AlphaAli was also healing your Orisa. So you can literally just keep this damage boost on your cast. Heal beacon is really good. I realize it heals up the whole team sometimes, dude. It's especially with the amounts of healing that beacon does. Obviously the mid-season patch is happening in like 2 days from when I'm recording this, so it might be that this is completely irrelevant at this at that very moment in time, because it might have like made it like nerfed or something, but to be honest I have no clue what it have to do with the patches or anything like that, so I could not tell you. But anyways, we'll keep going. I love that as well, because obviously like, these don't go out like straight away when I record them. They do take like a month or so. So there is like times where I say something and it's completely irrelevant for when the actual like VOD comes out. It makes me giggle. But anyways, okay, you kind of like do this weird like kind of like, hold on, let me just quickly rewind it because I've spent too much time talking about random bits and pieces. Okay, yeah, so it's as this kind of healing pipeline comes up like this, you can very much obviously you just find you healing your cast like this. Let your AlphaAli heal here, because the healing pipeline's up, and also like AlphaAli's helping the Orisa. Okay, I do not like this rotation you've made. I think this is where it all starts, because you going up onto this high ground is going to put you at risk to hit scans and obviously the suppressor and stuff like that. There is no need for you to go up here. You can literally just play crouched and just kind of like play here. Crouch under this payload and play like this. Because you going up is going to like alert the enemies of like where you are, be like, hey, the Mercy's like gone up here and stuff like that, and you're also like in like complete, like obviously it's fine you know using this cover and stuff like that up here and everything, but in reality it's once again it's that same thing again. If you are safe, do not move, and you are safe here, okay? But we'll keep going. So you do end up kicking rotating round. I'm hoping we realize where the soldier is. Nice ping onto him. Nice res. Nice. I was peeling for your what's it called? Okay, yeah. I was literally just about to say, if you carried on healing that Orisa, I would have, what's it called? I would have, like, gone at you, because you should be leaving that for your Alari. But no, that's obviously, you know, you go and help heal for your cast. Love the flicks onto damage boost as well to try and help him. No, oh, leave that for your Alari. But it's alright. Just because, obviously, once again, Alari's ultimate is absolutely broken on this patch. Obviously, I don't know whether they're going to nerf it or anything, but very, very strong. But anyways, if I'm safe, don't leave that space. Exactly, Froggy. Nice. Okay, you have Valk here for recon testing, exactly as you've done, which is really, really nice. Oh, okay. I feel as though at this point we get a little bit tunnel visioned on the res, which is how we don't help our Alari, alright? I found out Alaris are very, very aggressive, okay? Where Alaris, like, will just go in, okay? So I like this rotation. This is really, really nice. This is completely fine. You're obviously doing so. Right. You've popped Valk. This is really, really great. Okay. We should now be noticing that our Alari has gone in. The reason why your Alari goes in here is to try and, what's it called? Challenge a Sombra. Because if she can challenge a Sombra and gets her away before she gets her EMP, this is a team fight one for you guys. Because if this Sombra translocates away, she doesn't have this EMP, and there's basically no other ultimates that can be, you know, be used to win this team fight, right? So you literally at this point will just hang about here, and then as you see this Alari go in, be sure just to quickly peek it onto her and try to get that beam onto her, okay? Now we end up obviously, you know, helping out and stuff like that, and then our our cast dies, right? That is completely like, it is what it is, okay? You can't really do anything about that because obviously you're wanting to focus your main beams onto like this main bit. One of the things is you've got your beam on your kind of Sombra right now. I'd be mainly kind of put it more on your Orisa just so you can kind of get around everyone, right? So I think at this point you get tunnel visioned onto this res and it ends up like harming your Alari, right? At this point, instead of thinking, oh, let's go and res, think to yourself, is my team okay before I go to Jace's res? Because this GA and this res is completely safe for you to do. It's not like you have to, like, you know, think about the safety of the res right now. It's really, like, it's really, really safe. But you also need to think about the safety of your team before you go for it. So I would actually kind of stay here, help your Alari, put the beams onto her, because you end up kind of abandoning her, she ends up kind of falling as well. Obviously, nice positioning. Just once again, just stay closer down to that kind of wall thing, because you pop it up here is once again putting you in LOS of the soldier, right? So you actually literally just play around here and just jiggle peek like this, or like this, or like maybe a little bit up and down like this, but you essentially, you want to kind of like hug this, like pretend that you're like stuck like to the like whatever this thing is. I don't know what it is. What is it? Bolettos. Oh, are these like them cute little like I don't know, you know, like when you buy like little snacks and stuff like near train stations? It looks like one of them. Anyways, just like try and keep yourself absolutely super glued to it and like, what's it called, play around it like this. Anyways, enough of that. Obviously you'll end up dying, that's fine, don't worry, reset, go again. It's good as well that your team will use that, like your ult as well there, so it completely does not matter if you end up losing that. I think it's a really good use of your ult, used it at the right time. We just needed to be a little bit more cautious on who we had our beam on and everything, alright? My team just struggled to take the point, so I was sure we're going to lose it first. I mean, it's really hard, especially when they have these good hit scans. You're not giving us a res that, by the way. I hope, yeah, I think you realise that now, which is really, really great. Same thing with the damage boost. Try just flick on that damage boost a little bit more when the, what's it called? These tickets, was a ticket booth. Wait, oh, is this like, is it like a ticket booth, like a theatre then? Is this a theatre? Wait, I'm gonna do a little map exploration because I saw these like banners and stuff, and it looks like it's like a movie theatre or like, you know, like a opera theatre and stuff like that. Is this like a theatre then? Wait, oh, okay. It's not making me like this map anymore because I hate this map, but like still, like, oh, so it must be like a little ticket booth that they have outside of the of like the theatre. Ah, see, the more you know, guys. Anyways, obviously, I'm so sorry, I'm choking on myself. Same thing again, obviously, with this rotation, like, I like, obviously, that you're using these GAs and bunny hops to get yourself around and stuff like that. Just once again, while you're doing these GAs, be sure to look away and down, because it's sadly one of these, what's it called? Sorry, I've just seen Sweepy just put in the more you know, like, little meme. Oh, man, Anyways, so right, this is this is one of these rotations that you unfortunately have to make. And it's just one of them like really unfortunate scenarios, right? That you just, you know, it's just one of the risky rotations that you have to make. While you're making it though, just be sure just to look away and then do the bunny hop afterwards. Just so once again, you're protecting your head hitbox, okay? Nice rotation. So helping people that got hacked, that's completely fine. I love how you played inside of here though. Can't do anything for your Orisa because she just pushes in while everyone's being hacked. You did the right thing of helping people. Can't do anything for Orisa when she's just instant like that. Really, really great. So obviously stood around, helping your Cass. Nice. Nice. I feel as though we don't, once again, it's one of these where we don't need to GA in here. We can literally just, because obviously what's going to happen is the AlphaAli is wanting to get out of LOS of the Sombra, so we'll back off for you. So you don't need to GA in here. You can literally just, once again, you could just like kind of stay back and like away from people. Save your GA in case any of these guys decide to like focus you and stuff like that. So you could like definitely just like kind of save that a little bit there. Anyway, nice obviously pick up the health pack, which is completely fine. Helping AlphaAli, really great. Can't do it with your Sombra. Your wrist is gonna die again because she's very like not aware, let's just say that. Kind of just stand in this room for a bit. I was yelling at my TV for my team to group up. Well, yeah, your wrist has just gone in main like twice and just not realized that the supports and DPS are currently trying to deal with a Sombra. Like, it's really great. But anyways, it's like a full 10 ult fight now at this point. I want to see if this is like the typical like thing of where everyone pops their ults at once in this next team fight. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really intrigued. It's nice helping your AlphaAli out there. I love how you back off a little bit as well. Really, really great. I'd still be looking to kind of like push up a little bit with them. Like, I like this, like, last bit, obviously, you trying, like, to peek around and stuff like that. But definitely try to push up with them a little bit more when, when they're, like, trying to fight in the room. Like, it's fine when they're out the room and trying to fight here and you playing, like, around here. This is completely fine. Just while they're still in the room and stuff like that, I would be looking to kind of, like, play a little bit more aggressively. But anyways. Can't remember, I hope not. Dude, it'll make me giggle if every single ultimate gets popped at this point. So we pop Valk obviously to like help follow upon EMP damage, which is great. I really love popping Valks after EMPs to help with that. They use their EMP. Nice. Oh no. Oh dude. Oh, you were doing such a good job here of like maneuvering. Okay, let me quickly back out because I feel as if once again we've moved where we like we've moved from somewhere that was safe. So let me quickly back out. So we can just stand here in this kind of like your choices here is you can stay in this doorway, which you don't really want to do because obviously obviously everyone's here, but you can take your Valk and instead of just going straight in, get your beam onto someone and then GA yourself around here and play here. Because then as soon as the soldier pops his visor, you can then just kind of come into this room. It's one of them things where you're moving again when you don't need to. You could just literally like sit out in this room and then kind of come around here. Oh, he's visoring. And just hop back into here. Now, we're going to see what you end up doing with your choice, which is obviously, you know, playing out into your cover, right? You are doing actually a really good job here of essentially just distracting the soldier. And you should not worry about trying to help your team out here one little bit. Because at the moment, you need to put your life ahead of your own, which is what you should be doing here, right? Because obviously, you know where the soldier is. He's going to try and peek for, because what soldier wants to do, he doesn't want to give up this high ground with his visor. He wants to try and like keep it. So he's going to shift from one side to the other trying to get you. So all you have to do is try and mirror that and just like do it from the other sides and stuff like that. And if you can get your beam onto someone while you're doing this, obviously, you know, great if you can. Because what ends up happening is I feel as though you kind of like worry about your team too much. Like, oh my gosh, they need help and stuff like that. But anyway, they've chucked 5 ults to you, by the way. I thought this was going to happen. What's it called? 8 out of the 10 ultimates were used in that fight. But you end up basically putting yourself in harm's way just because you think you have to help your team, when in reality it's more like a team fight loss because they put in 5 ultimates into the team fight, which is, you know, kind of a bit stupid for them. But you should definitely, just play around here, wait for him to try and pressure you, and if you can, try to GA away. But this is all kind of leading from your initial movement from here, when in reality you could kind of like just play here. Now, I'm not saying this would have like helped you win this team fight at all, do not get me wrong, because they used a lot. But I think it would have definitely helped you survive more and be a little bit more effective during that team fight. And then if you could, you know, you could help the people on court by let's just peeking here and then just like backing off a little bit, keeping your beams on here, keep yourself out of the LOS of that soldier, okay? So it's just the same thing again, we're removing when we don't need to. Right, so we'll see what goes on next. Obviously, I was going to respawn. We do have AlphaAli ult and also Orisa ult. So I'll be looking to maybe try and damage boost the AlphaAli ult when she goes in. Obviously, Orisa ult isn't too much like, you know, obviously it's good to damage boost stuff when if she, like, she's nearby, but don't be like really going in aggressively unless if you need to. Yeah, which is exactly what's ended up happening, okay? If we lived through 5 ults, that would have been sad for the other team, honestly. Right, I was quickly, oh no, I want to stay where I am, right? This is exactly what I meant, where your kind of beam priority right now is a bit off, right? Because what Arisa's going to do is Arisa's going to walk in and just ult. Because that's what Arisa's do, okay? Now, it would have been better if she did this towards the end of a team fight, but it doesn't really matter. She's just going to walk in and ult. Now, because everyone is pretty much full HP, it's going to be very unlikely that she's going to get a kill doing this. So, your best bet is actually to go in and damage boost the AlphaAli. Because the AlphaAli is going to like be like, face the sunrise, whatever she says, right? And like come up like really high. If you can damage boost this initial like sunburst and stuff like that, and then try and like follow up on any of the damage from like people that have been sunbursted and stuff, is a lot better than trying to go in and damage boost this Orisa ult, which most people are gonna like try and escape and stuff like that. So try to help AlphaAli with this ultimate first of all. Spot on impression. Guys, I should totally be like the AlphaAli voice actor. Anyways, obviously we know with soldiers and stuff, obviously we're playing out of the way. Slingshot ourselves away. Nice hugging of like the wall. Now we know that what's it called? We know Sombra's lives. Sorry, Sombra's still alive, so obviously we don't want to res, which is completely the right thing for you. Nice of you trying to body block like for your AlphaAli there as well. And nice, obviously you're helping get free on point. Really respect that decision. Really, really nice. Nice GF as well to the side, obviously the soldier contesting. Really, really nice. That really well. Okay. Helping Orisa, which is very, very nice. Healing her. Just whenever she goes for that javelin, flick on that damage boost. It's the same with things like a Roadhog hook or like Jungle Queen knife and stuff like that. Whenever they put it on, try and flick on that damage boost a little bit more. Ooh, okay. Bad decision. Yes. Let's talk about it. So, I like this GA. This is good, obviously, you know, to get out of the way and everything like that. And then we decided to push forward with Orisa, which is the correct decision in this opinion, right? The only thing is I feel as though we don't pay attention to the kill feed here, okay? Because we know the soldier has just been peeking from this high ground, and we know from the kill feed that he has not been killed, right? So we now know, I feel as though I should not have followed her or done a different GA. You've done the absolute right thing of going in with her, but as soon as she extends out main, you then need to do a wall bounce. So I'll show you in a sec, right? I just want to quickly follow up on like the soldier thing, by the way, just for anyone watching and stuff like that. So you know soldier's still going to be here, so he's going to try and shoot main, or most likely he's going to try and shoot down this kind of side bit, which is where your Orisa is. Now you decide to go follow up on the Orisa, which is completely fine, because obviously you want to try and get your Orisa's ult and try and like pressure, maybe get an early pick off and stuff like that. This is fine. It's this kind of like jump here, right, where it's like, what's good, this could just be like a normal GA, and then what, obviously damage this to the javelin, stay main, and then you realize the soldier's here, right? You still have your beam on your Orisa. Literally, all you need to do is just kind of like stay hugging this wall instead, and then what will happen is as soon as you like, you know, you see the soldier, put your beam in here and just GA yourself out. Now, obviously, it's not going to take you as far as you want it to, like, do not get me wrong. It will take you probably to about here. But it's better for you to back off and rotate like this back to your team, because hopefully what will happen is like this team fight will happen, a few people will back off and they start to get a bit weak. Oh look, GA target, and you can J yourself back in and stuff like that. But it's completely fine with you if you disengage here, because you essentially just don't want to be that LOS whatsoever. So with the Orisa, we walk forward, obviously help her out and stuff like that main, and then as soon as we need to escape, we could do a bit of a wall bounce, just get that initial distance, and then bam. See, if I would pushed into my Orisa, I could have maybe gone to them, but it was a dumb decision from me. Yeah, which I'm really glad. Obviously, you like what's called. You kind of like realize that, Froggy. If you did want to do this GA, by the way, you could also like come down this side. But I think it would have been better if we went completely out the outside. Like, your team are going to be fine, especially because it's not like a really like stressful team fight at that very moment in time. They are going to be fine if you leave them for like 1 second, you know. It's not like it's like the height of like a team fight. It's like, you know, make or break, you know. It's literally a start of a team fight. Like, you can back off early if you need to. But anyways, so obviously coming back, I feel as though like we don't need to flick ourselves through into here, because once again you're putting yourself at risk to these like kind of higher grounds and stuff like that, because obviously we want to try and not die or do anything before we end up going in. So you essentially just want to kind of GA and cancel and just play here for now up until this payload kind of pushes forward a little bit more. Okay, but nice damage boost obviously onto soldier for now. Love how you back off around here. This is exactly what you literally should have done earlier, like back it off like this. Ooh, okay. I feel as though, hold on, let's quickly rewind this, because I know you're aware of the Reaper here. So we're flicking ourselves forward. Right, so we hear the Reaper. Okay, you decide to GA away. I think it would have been better if we GA'd more basically to where you were. Right? Because I feel as though we've done things backwards. Like, you GA yourself forward, and then you go back around, and then you're like, oh gosh, right? You should have stayed here, and then when your team kind of pushes forward a bit with this cart, GA yourself forward. Because this Reaper cannot, well, obviously, you know, he can like drop down this like tiny little gap, but he, at the moment, will not be focused on trying to get you, because right now, in his LOS, he can just see this Orisa and will be trying to just basically come behind you guys. But if you are one step ahead and you're already down behind here and also helping out your team like this, it also blocks out this LOS of the soldier if you're just kind of like standing here, and you can just like play around here for a little bit. Instead of kind of backing off and then panicking a bit, you're like, oh my goodness, like, what's it called? Obviously you GA away, which is completely fine. Love how you use that cover behind there, really nice. But yeah, just a little bit of a mix match with like the movement there. We should definitely just GA forward and then underneath him, because it's going to make it very hard to get to anyone. Obviously, nice how you're playing down here. We end up rotating a little bit, obviously, to go under. Nice, okay. One of the things is if you did decide to contest this fully, we would have to GA back to where you were, which is up here. Just so you can, like, play around here. But I like how you pushed up a bit, just to make sure you keep your beams on people, and also just in case they pushed up. Damage boost ult, which is fine. We know where soldier ult is now, so obviously we're going to just play a cover. Very, very nice. I don't like this GA. Once again, it's another GA where you GA yourself into like a random piece of cover where you don't need to. You have just cleared out this total area. You can literally just like kind of walk forward if you want to. Obviously crouching like behind the payload, or like literally just stay back here and just damage boost and stuff like that. Keeping cover in mind, yeah. Which is really great how obviously, you know, I love how you're always keeping it covered, like keeping it in mind. Really nice getting into come on damage boost and stuff like that. Really nice. Obviously leaving all the healing for the pylon, really, really nice. Awesome. Really, really, really great there. Just that one little piece of movement, again, where it's like you're flinging yourself to a random place where you absolutely don't need to. You want to stay where you are. This part makes my movement feel trying to keep the soldier, I feel. It was a tad bit messy. I could tell you what you could probably do better. Hold on, let me quickly rewind it. I feel as though we got the job done though, so I wasn't really like too fussed about it. So this is the random GA I don't like. It's this one, right? You needed to jump a little bit sooner to get yourself behind this cover. What ends up happening is you end up kind of getting yourself a bit stuck here and then like, and then panicking and coming back around here, okay? Just kind of like, all you had to do is basically cancel that GA a little bit sooner and then come around here. But that's fine. I wasn't really thinking too much about it because I was like, you kind of like got the job done, so I was like, oh, okay. It doesn't really matter too much. But yeah. Anyways, obviously, nice damage boost on the soldier, try and clean up. Obviously, it doesn't matter that, you know, letting your AlphaAli heal because the AlphaAli has ult, but it's always a really good habit to get into, which I really like that you've done. It's really unfortunate because, so, this is what normally would happen, by the way, Froggy, because I'm going to tell you now, because obviously you will end up in, like, high lobbies at some point, right? What tends to happen is people will push up to this chokehold here and be, like, shooting up at this high ground and be shooting main. So you essentially just sit here and you crouch in this bush like this. Now, your soldier hasn't done that, so it's going to make your life 10 times more difficult. But I already love how you're using your cover by crouching behind this payload. Really, really nice, okay? It's just unfortunate that sadly people aren't really doing that. Nice, obviously, with the thing. Lovely pings that let people know the Reaper's here and stuff like that. But I feel as though we, like, okay, we have kind of, like, moved away now. We should have moved away a little bit more than what we did, though. Because it's all good, like, standing here and pinging him, like, hey, hey, the Reaper's here, right? But we need to create that distance a little bit more than what we did. Like, back off to, like, it's super hard on this point, sadly, because obviously, you know, like, the limited cover. But I think definitely we should try and, like, back top a little bit more than what we did. Just in case he comes out and just, like, two-taps you. Because we know that ultimate's coming, don't we? Like, with him being there and everything. Nice res though, I will say. Nice, get yourself away. Ooh, okay, I would have stayed in here. Okay, let me quickly rewind, okay? Because, so, I was going to say this as well with the Reaper, okay? If you know a Reaper's going to be hiding like this and stuff like that, you know he's also going to probably have his ultimate. We saw this, whose VOD was it yesterday when we did it? It was Fluffy's. You know when it was Fluffy's VOD and the Reaper was stood up on like the high ground for about 40 seconds. Like, what's it called? And he was just stood there just waiting for to solo ult Fluffy, right? It's kind of like one of them scenarios, and if you manage to bait him out and stuff like that, you will know at this point he has his ultimate, okay? So, at this point, play away, because you walk into him, right? You keep on walking back. Now, you can pop your Valk early here to try and like mitigate as much of this damage as you can. Because what ends up happening is you pop it a bit late and then people fall over. Now, people are going to fall over because obviously, you know, it's a blossom and not many people are ready for it, sadly, because, you know, it's like, it's plat, sadly, so people are not going to be prepared for it. But we can be prepared. We can be like thinking ahead. As soon as we see like Reaper kind of rafing out as he's doing, right, we back off and we Valk. Because at the same time, even if he doesn't use Blossom, it's still great because obviously, you know, you've got this Tracer coming, it's the start of a new team fight, and you could definitely get away with maybe just using Valk in this team fight if your team is smart with it, okay? So as we Valk, Bastion dies. We go into the inside while they use the ult, because obviously Arissa's got a spinny thing, so completely fine to go and like res here. We res Soldier, which is completely fine. And then we back away. Okay. It's at this point, and I have just seen your message as well, like, oh, I should have stayed with the Soldier. Yes, we should have stayed with the Soldier. Right? Because, what, like, the reason why as well, why I'm saying to people you should just, like, stay with the Soldier here is to allow him to still keep this angle and be aggressive, right? Because Arissa's really healthy. She has AlphaAli. AlphaAli is currently, like, really backed off as well from the team. So that passive regen is going to kick in a second, right? So even if, like, you do need to, like, maybe, like, help her and stuff like that, you can literally just, what's it called? You can peek through if you desperately need to. But yeah, as you said, literally just said Froggy, she could definitely, like, self-heal and stuff like that. So you literally just back off to, like, here, and you can just like pocket your Soldier. You can also come onto this high ground if you want to as well, just obviously it's a bit risky, you know, with like people being up here and stuff like that, in case you also need to like be with your team. But definitely I think commit with your Soldier right now, especially because you've rezzed him, okay? If you've rezzed him, you now need to commit with him. It's nice that we ended up getting him out, so that's completely fine. Let's help your Lori, nice. Help your Orisa. Nice how you like flick away. Lovely. My only thing with this, I would have tried to flick even into this bottom room. Yeah, there's a corridor. Of course, wait, hold on. I don't know, like, do people not know this exists? There's like a little corridor around here. So this is obviously, you know, this is your second point spawn here. So you can get at it through like here, or like obviously this door, and you can come like down here, or like through here. So, obviously, you know, people tend to flank here and stuff like that, but you know where that Tracer is as well, so it's alright. Never looked around here. The only reason why I kind of know this exists, Skieski posted a TikTok one time, and it was her, obviously, like, pocketing a Soldier, and then someone died, and she literally comes out, oh, sorry, I was just about to, like, pull out the pistol, but I don't have my pistol, and she just literally, she turns around, and just goes, and then just, like, and just, like shooting down this Mercy that's trying to res. It was so funny. Exactly, Froggy. The more you know. But anyways, huge AlphaAli. Hold on, let me rewind because I feel like we got a little bit distracted. Right. So obviously we talked about obviously not abandoning Soldier. Can you see how the tracers just used that, by the way? But anyways, keep going. It's a nice damage boost onto the soldier, helping him out. Nice heal into AlphaAli. Okay, I don't mind this GA, but try to do it down here instead rather than just all the way out here. Because you do it out here is, say they end up getting someone onto this high ground and stuff like that, it's going to put you at real risk. Try just to back off to here a little bit more. It will obviously create that little bit of distance, but it's a little bit more safer for you. Okay, lovely damage boost onto this ult. Okay, but I would be looking to kind of go into one of these rooms. Like either go down here or like go up onto like this high ground and like really sling yourself into here. Just try and like get yourself away from this bash and everything. Just so you can create that distance away from the tracer, because the tracer is going to be like really coming after you. But anyways, obviously nice ultimate. Really huge ultimate, some like huge as well from everyone. Love how you're waiting for res, really nice. And it looks like I feel like you're going to end up getting it. I'd be damaged with Bastion here, by the way. Just try and like get people in. Like, what's it called? I was trying to get onto the high ground, but the J flopped. But it's alright. Although I got to play the game for this, honestly, it was huge. Like, it got so many assists and stuff like that. Really, really good ultimate by AlphaAli. But yeah, no, so Froggy, anyways, like, looking at your gameplay, right? It was really, really great, okay? Your gameplay in this, like, game was really, really great, okay? I think, obviously, your reses, I think, were really, really good. Obviously, always in cover. There's one that we failed, which we're not going to brush over, like, you know, look at too much, but it was really, really great, okay? Valks, I think, apart from that one that I didn't like, majority of the time were really, really good. Obviously, I'll talk about your main issue in a second. Your, obviously, aim as well, we could do a tad little bit of work, but hey, you got the job done, killing the Widow, so pass off to you. Okay, my only thing, with your healing and damage beams, I want you to try and damage boost a tad bit more. Because it feels like a lot of the time we're defaulting to the healing beam a lot of the time, like, you know, like trying to keep people higher up with like HP, when in reality there's a lot of times where you can get away with push that damage boost a tad bit more than what you're doing and stuff like that. Held back yourself back from dumb reses. My games have got a lot better, yes, which I feel as though is complete, like it's like made your gameplay so much better, Froggy. Okay, but my next thing I want you to now think about is if you are safe, do not move, okay? Because it's been several times throughout the VOD. I feels like my only thing I've managed to kind of like really been harsh on you with is when you're moving for no reason. Like, it's if you are safe, you stay where you are and you do not move, okay? And I want you to really focus on that. If you know that you're not going to get pressured out and you are safe, you stick where you are and you make sure that you have movement options for if you start to get dove and stuff like that. If I'm safe, don't leave space. Exactly, Froggy. I'm going to have that as like my little memento. Because I've said that to quite a few people recently. I'm going to make a little slogan. If you are safe, don't leave that space. And I guess on that note, Froggy as well. New Froggy quote. I love it. But anyways, obviously, Froggy, please do let me know as well if you have any more questions, and I'll have to leave the VOD there. Once again, thank you so much to everyone on TikTok as well as on, yeah, not TikTok, but anyways, thank you to everyone on TikTok anyways. I say this quite a few times, but thank you, TikTok. Thank you to everyone as well on Twitch and as well on YouTube who've been watching this. Once again, you can get your own VOD views, leave for 5,000 channel points. I do them on my Twitch on Mondays, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays too, where you're more than welcome to come and like lurk, or you're more than welcome to come as well talk to my lovely community that I have over there, just so you can build up the channel points. It is absolutely for free as well. You do not spend any money whatsoever, unless if you want to get them quicker, in which case you can sub, but like there's no need to sub basically. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye.